In this video, I tried out a weirdly good Australian path. Could I become a dominant power in the Pacific? Watch the video to see. Welcome back to my channel, everyone. As you can see, we're not in Hearts of Iron 4 right now. No, we are on the internet, and I have a wheel in front of me of every starting nation and every ideology here. And for a truly random game, we're going to spin both of these wheels, and I will abide by whatever we land on. The first time I did this, I got Democratic Tibet, so I really hope we don't go through that again. Let's see what we get. Australia, and which way we'll be aligning ourselves politically. The Brown Party. Okay, so there we go. We're going to be playing as Brown Australia today. Let's see how it goes. Alright everyone, welcome to the land down under. We are here in Australia. Alright, so let's take a look at our focus tree and seeing what we'll be doing. Okay, so it looks like we'll be going down Never Another Gallipoli and then abandoning the Westminster system and supporting the Centre Party. Okay, we can even demand New Zealand, supply Indonesian nationalists. Okay, so there's a little bit of content here, but again, this is one of the oldest trees in Hearts of Iron 4 and there is not a lot here. Let's get started with Never Another Gallipoli and start to add our autonomy and break free from the UK. And despite being a Commonwealth nation, we still only have 2 research slots. That's not very good. 7 divisions, which are barely equipped. We have 17 factories, 11 of which are civs, and 4 mills. That is not the worst industry for Australia. And yes, our nation is so forgotten about by Paradox at this point that we only have one national spirit, and that is the Great Depression, which, don't worry, they didn't forget how bad the Great Depression was, because our nation is at a standstill pretty much economically because of it, so we'll have to fix that. And I guess it is nice to play as Australia today because I believe they are doing a rework of Australia in a further patch or DLC or country pack or whatever they want to call them now. So this is sort of a last hurrah for the Australian focus tree. And yes, let's get some ticking daily autonomy gain right here with abandoning the Westminster system. And already we do start it with 36% war support, so we should be able to go right up the partial MOB whenever I want to. That's pretty nice as a Commonwealth nation. There we go, we're already right up the partial MOB, and we've abandoned the Westminster system. Now we just have to wait for autonomy gain before we can support the Centre Party and boost Brown Party support. So of course, that means in the meantime we'll start industrializing with Industries Assistant Corporation. I like how for industrial concerns we have a guy named Jack Piddington here along with all these other companies. I don't know how Jack Piddington was moving back in the day, but man, he must have been on something. And let's keep industrializing. Alright, and we are, yes, over 55% towards becoming free, so let's support the Centre Party and really start reeling in that Brown Party support. Alright, there we go. Our political tree is pretty much at a halt for right now because we have to flip or have guns, which we don't have. So let's go back to industrializing. Grab some civs, a few mills, some other good stuff. This is certainly going to be a slow build-up and probably a slower game for the first portion, and I'm really unsure as to how this is all going to unfold with us being sort of alone down here, doing endless anti-Brown Party and anti-communist raids, as well as improving worker conditions. I mean, that's pretty much all I have to spend my political power on right now anyways, so why not, right? Alright, so our potential allies, Japan, just declared on China. Guess we hope they'll do well, because we would like a strong other Brown Party nation here in the Pacific to help us out if we need it. I think it's this focus that is the worst focus in the game. Expand the Northern Railway. For 70 days, we get a level 2 railway in the Northern Territory, and that is it. It would probably be quicker to actually build this railway with your own civs than to do this focus. So we're actually stuck on volunteer only because we need to complete a focus citizen military forces. In this election, the public demands rearmament, and we can get limited conscription for free. I don't know if that's intended or designed, but I'm glad we at least get our conscription up. I feel like a strong navy will suit us here in this game, so let's do a few of these focuses to get some naval dockyards, like the Cockatoo Island shipyards and the Kangaroo Point dry dock. Do the names get any more Australian than that? I don't think so. I feel like someone with the name Fergus Foster Munro would definitely be an extremist with that sort of name, so we've just hired him here to boost our Brown support even more, and we are actually able to flip whenever we want at this point, once we get 100 political power. Finally, because we have 200 guns in stockpile now in almost 1938, we can supply Indonesian nationalists. There we go. Referendum for free, even though we didn't have the 100 political power. Let's do this. And now we are finally the Brown Party, led by Mr. Eric Campbell with a nice little hat he's got on. Good thing about this, we're actually still even in the Allies, we haven't been kicked out, so we can continue to benefit from all of the technologies that they are researching before us. We're actually able to become free whenever we want, However, I'm just going to hold on a little bit. A few of these focuses here, we could probably benefit from still being a protectorate of the UK. Alright, let's support this Indonesian uprising. The Dutch East Indies will get a civil war, and we can send volunteers. So let's get this fired right away and see what comes of it. Here's a big Indonesian uprising. Let's go ahead and send some volunteers. Can actually send 4. That is more than half of our army. Can also protect the Southwest Pacific, and it gives the United Kingdom an event to demand right to control their protectorate. So let's improve relations with them and hope they actually accept this. Again, we still do have decent relations because we are still in their faction, and that is really what I cared about. Alright, our divisions are here, and where are they? Okay, of course, they're just on a random island. Let's get them over to the main front. See if we can do anything. Just as 8 new divisions have been trained up for the main army, so we're up to now 16 divisions combined. And I'm probably going to make some special forces because of our limited manpower, and I'm leaning towards Marines right now. That will probably be the best here in Southeast Asia. There we go, we've already taken out an Indonesian division. The justification thing popped up, but it's just Germany, I'm guessing, demanding the Sudetenland. And there we go, we walked into Surabaya, and that actually capitulated the Dutch East Indies, so now we have the Indonesian Order, a friendly Brown Party nation neighboring us. That's very nice. In pursuit of Indonesian freedom, okay. For as long as they need our support, the Dominion of Australia is there to support the Indonesian government. Very nice. Wait, hold on a second. They become a puppet of us. Look at this. Together in arms against the world if we must. We just stole the Dutch East Indies. Are you kidding me? We now have the Australian East Indies. That is actually pretty darn good. And we're about to see what the British say to protecting the Southwest Pacific here. And the UK actually did give in and gives us intermediate control of all of their British colonial holdings. British Malaya becomes a puppet of us, so no way. We just got the Dutch East Indies and British Malaya within like a week. We have a very nice empire carved out for ourselves here in the Pacific. It's just New Zealand that is a British territory or British holding here in the region still. We can demand New Zealand, so that's what I'm going to save up political power for now. And yes, of course, very quickly, we're running out of building slots here in Australia. And now that we're at 300 political power, we can become free. Boom. We are now centralist Australia, and let's leave the Allies, and now we can work on demanding New Zealand. Let's see what they happen to say to that. Alright, are they going to give us New Zealand? New Zealand has refused. We do have a war goal on them. I don't think I'm going to use this. Not yet, no. Alright, well I guess now that that fun's over, we can finally fix the Great Depression. So here's what our Marine divisions are going to be today. Called the Crikey, of course. We've got ourselves 30 combat with a bunch of Marines, a few pieces of artillery, and some support companies. They should do quite nicely once we get our doctrine up. Already at 215 soft attack without really any doctrine yet, so yeah. Well, there goes World War II, so it looks like our former Commonwealth nations and friends are now at war with the Axis. I was hoping to have some Marines out by this point, but yeah, we don't have any manpower right yet. So we'll send just normal guys to Japan as volunteers. There's still... oh, no, Japan must have actually just flipped to the Brown Party. I didn't notice that before. We actually could join their faction if we improve relations with them. We're just going to hold off for right now. Looks like Japan's going for a crazy play. Maybe we could help that out. I don't know. Let's see. There we go, we actually did help Japan close this massive encirclement. 36 Chinese divisions here in this pocket. Screw it, let's join Japan's faction. I was going to send them an attaché instead, but I want to get some more participation. It looks like they're very close to ending this conflict altogether, so let's join their wars. Yes, it is unfortunate now that we have pretty much run out of supply everywhere in China, but we're still going to see what pushes we can do. Supply is getting so bad that I'm actually going to have to build a supply hub, I think. And that should hopefully allow us to push into here and capitulate China. There we go, one supply hub's been built. We're building another one down here, more south. And instantly the Japanese love what we have done and they're pushing. And there we go, we've even taken the great city of Chongqing, and the supply hub down here has just been built, and now we have supply down here. China is 96% towards capitulation. We've taken 27,000 casualties, but we've inflicted 95.5 thousand. With that focus done, now we can increase our conscription. Let's go up to extensive, see where that gets us. There we go, all 5 of our Marines are out. Henry Winter, you will lead the charge. Let's see if we can get them in for some combat here in China. Okay, Japan is doing this focus to strike the southern road, and this is where they get their war goals on the Allies and everything. And they're going to get war goals on us and our puppets too, but not to worry because, again, we're in their faction. So I would have liked this war to be done before going to war with the United States. Basically, I have 2 months to do this. 2 months later. And our Japanese allies have declared on the Philippines. Actually, I'm not sure that they'll go after the allies. I mean, I'm sure they'll end up at war with them somehow, but I don't think they have war goals over the allies, at least just yet. And yes, I think that is the case. So maybe a delayed American entry into the allies. We'll have to see. Finally, our offensives are actually doing something. We are making progress. There we go, we've encircled the last Chinese victory point here in Liangshan. Finally, we're closing this pocket out. And we spent so long that our supply hub built without using the decision. Finally! Oh my goodness, that took so long. And we have 7% of the war score. Alright, peace deal's over. We got a bit of land. I mean, the reorganized national government of Republic of China got most of the land. We did get the 3rd Guangxi clique down here, as well as a little bit of Jibisan-ma right up here in the Qinghai-ma Free State, and we got the Neo-Chagatai Khanate up here in Xinjiang, but also Xinjiang still does exist, along with Jibisan-ma. But Jibisan-ma is now led by Pan Dong, and Ma Bufang actually leads our Jibisan-ma. Japan, do you care to explain this focus real quick? Yeah, and just like that, with stealing all of our puppets' troops, we now have a lot of divisions, and I think I might be ready to take back rightful Australian clay here in New Zealand, and that will involve us going to war with the entire Allies. But again, we don't really have to worry, right? We're not really bordering them. The Dutch East Indies is belonging to us. Singapore is belonging to us. Actually, Singapore is not belonging to us. Singapore is belonging to the UK. But again, we don't have to worry about that because that is our puppet and not the British puppet. I think we are ready. Peter Fraser, goodbye. That's right, Centralist Australia has declared war on New Zealand. Let's launch our naval invasion. And we are now at war with the Allies. And that actually did bring the US into the Allies. Sorry, Japan. And we have a landing here in New Zealand. This might be the first time I've ever invaded New Zealand in Hearts of Iron 4. I'm not even kidding. And there we go, we've capitulated our arch nemesis, New Zealand. Nice, it looks like Japan is doing nicely here in Southeast Asia. Maybe we should send all of our puppet troops here and do some fighting in India. Well, let's go after the capital of France. No, not Paris. Here in New Caledonia, actually. Alright, let's see what we can do here in the British Raj. Okay, we've gotten a nice pocket here. If we can close this out, that's a few divisions, and we'll have supply. Let's grab some more islands while we're at it. There we go. And with the help of the Siamese, we are pushing them out of this port. There we go, and we should be able to push now nicely into India, now that we have supply. And our navy is actually doing some work. We took out a French light cruiser here in the Battle of Guadalcanal. Probably not that Battle of Guadalcanal, but that's what it is in this world. Alright, let's try a little naval invasion and see if we can cut off supply from them. There is a lot of troops here. If we can get to these railways, they shouldn't be in supply, technically, so let's see what we can do. There we go, secured the beachhead here at Calcutta. And look at this, we actually managed to get this encirclement. Can we close it out? That is the next question though. That is a lot of divisions in this pocket. I can't believe we actually did that. And look at that. Finally, we've got that pushed out. There we go, another beautiful encirclement here in India. Alright, let's move into Delhi here. It looks like we should be able to make it in. And yes, there we go. We've captured the Indian capital, the fall of New Delhi. I might go ahead and hit the magic button here and keep pressure on them while I just snake up here in the north. And India should be capitulating after we take these two cities. Let's see. Yes, there they go. The Dominion of India has capitulated. Let's mop up all of these allied divisions here. There we go. We have mopped up pretty much all of Asia from the allies just like that. I guess we should probably go after the Philippines. I don't know why Japan hasn't dealt with them already. Alright, Japan, let's see if we can teach you how to invade the Philippines. I hope they don't have very much here. There we go. We've secured Manila. And there, we've secured the Philippines quite nicely. Well, it looks like the Axis is on the way out. The Germans are being pushed very heavily into their homeland by the Allies. Unfortunately, that means we'll probably have a lot more Allied resistance over in this area, at least where they are. I'm thinking especially here in Iran. Looks like that is the Axis gone with. And yes, that definitely appears to be the case. And like in my Bulgaria video, National Spain always seems to join things at the wrong time. But hey, at least they're in our faction this time. And they'll give us 152,000 garrison manpower, sure. Good luck, guys. Looks like we got actually a pretty big naval battle here, but we won. I don't know how our crappy early ships won, but maybe it was the contribution of our newer ships. Let's just see. Looks like a few of them, yes, but not all of them. Just this last little bit of the Philippines we have left to conquer. That is proving really difficult, as we are out of convoys. We are getting raided to the smithereens, and the naval invasion sound is playing literally like every 5 seconds in my ear. Oh, thankfully, we didn't even need to walk into this port, and they've capitulated. Honestly, I don't know what else to do right now. It's not like we can defeat the Allies at this point. I might see if maybe we'll take a few naval battles, get some dominance, and take these islands. Then maybe we'll call it there, we'll see. You know what we actually should do is call in Australia and Malaya and push out Singapore. Actually, that was pretty easy. Here we go, we're in a naval battle here with a few Americans. We seem to be doing well. There we go, we took out 8 screens. And yes, there goes those 2 heavy cruisers. Alright, this could go horrendously, but we're going to set our fleet to patrol here in the Bismarck Sea, where there are a ton of allied ships. We're already locating something, we've already found something. Where are we here? We found Bruce Fraser and some Argentinian, Brazilian, and British ships. There goes 19 destroyers. This is a pretty large naval battle here. We got 2 American carriers, 3 American battleships, a lot of screens. Let's see. Well, certainly an interesting fight. We did lose our pride of the fleet, and we lost a few screens as well, but man, did we take out a lot. We took out a battleship, 9 cruisers, what is that, nearly 50 destroyers, and 2 more heavy cruisers. That is a victory, even though we did lose a lot. Let's get repairing. I don't want to take another battle right now. Oh god, Spain looks like a Neapolitan ice cream. Well, I literally don't know what else to do. We've taken all of the Pacific. Well, a lot of the Pacific. We have the Australian East Indies, Australian Malaya, who somehow has 40 divisions. And of course, we occupy New Zealand and a lot of these islands. I am very happy leaving it off here. It is 1945. We're not going to defeat the Allies at this point. It's just hard to do anything down here in Australia because we don't have any steel, and anywhere we have to trade for steel is very far away, so it does require a lot of convoys, which can then easily be raided. I think for the hand that we were dealt, we actually did quite well. This path, you know, isn't even the worst. It's not that bad. I mean, that is pretty good that you can get British Malaya and the East Indies for free as your own puppet. That's pretty strong in my opinion. If you've watched this far, please consider leaving a like or subscribing. It would mean a lot to me, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.